a vertebral body has a spinous process and two transverse processes. So those are the things, the spinous process is the thing coming straight off the back, and the transverse processes are the spines coming off the sides, right? So for the most part, we have muscles that attach on all of these bony landmarks here, and they're bilateral. So if we have muscles that are bilateral, attaching, like say from the neck to the shoulder, neck to the shoulder, neck to the shoulder, from the mid-back to the scapula, and so on and so forth, like so. And if you have muscles on one side that get stronger than on the other side because somebody is doing something that's not bilateral in their movement, like almost everything that we do, because we're either right or left side dominant, and so we favor one side or the other. And there are also activities that are very much awkward and not bilateral in its action, like golfing would be a good one, or tennis, all kinds of phone answering, mousing on a computer. So we're not doing things equally. And so muscles on one side will become tighter, and which means shorter. Okay, if a muscle is stronger, it's tighter and it's shorter. Does that make sense? Okay, so if a muscle is tighter, shorter, and stronger on one side than the other, and they're both attached on either sides, what can happen over time? This can rotate towards the shorter muscle. It gets pulled. Okay, so if you have muscle tissues that are really chronically stressed and really tight and really short, it will absolutely pull vertebral bodies out of alignment. So, if that's the case, what often happens when we loosen those tissues? They go back. They go back. Okay, so sometimes a chiropractor isn't needed because when we loosen the soft tissues, the bones just automatically go back into alignment. It's wonderful when that happens. And you will have clients regularly adjusting on your table by what you do without the deliberate intention of making adjustments. And you may not adjust clients. You may not deliberately, intentionally adjust clients. That's totally out of scope. But if you're working on some muscles and you do a gentle movement and something goes click, we're like, yay! You don't have to go to the chiropractor now. Okay, it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes people will have an incredible amount of pain in here, like right under the scapula, because if a vertebral body twists in this region, a rib's going to go up. Does that make sense? Because you can see all the ribs, also known as the costal arches. You'll know these as the costal arches. If a vertebral body is twisted in one direction or another due to tight muscles or injury, a rib is going to come up and it creates pain in the back. And sometimes we'll feel that, and what we're feeling is a bone, not a knot. And you'll get to where you can really feel, like when you'll get to the point where you're sensitive enough and you do enough massage where when you feel the neck, you can feel if one of these vertebral bodies is askew. And when you massage the back, you'll be able to feel if one of these ribs is out and one of these vertebral bodies is out of skew. Okay, so if you have a chiropractor you trust and you like, and I have several that I work in relationship with, then a beautiful complementary situation is the massage therapist releases the soft tissues and the chiropractor does the adjustment. But you can imagine if the chiropractor does an adjustment and you haven't released the tissues, what do you think is happening in that scenario? It's tearing. It can tear the tissues, and most likely the tissues will respond by contracting, and that bone is going to go right back to where it was before. So that's like creating yet another trauma. So chiropractic, hopefully what I've opened your mind to is that can be very positive if used correctly, with also soft tissue adjustments, not just the skeletal adjustments.